Hi guys. So I've got a couple questions for all of you out there in YouTube land, and I also like to show you a couple of things.
Ice is a star to Diana, a good day to meet Carly and Anna.
So I hope everyone had a really great midsummer. I did. We had some bonfires and rituals and really great time. You know, it's nice being out of school and being able to get more involved in the pagan community and meet people and just not be a shut-in, frankly. So during midsummer, we did a ritual where the focus was on healing, and more specifically healing the earth, because as we all have seen in the news, as we all have seen, you know, everywhere we look, there's the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to cause a lot of problems, probably for years, if not decades to come. And I was just reading a story that some of the chemicals that they're using to clean up the Gulf of Mexico, at least, they have actually found that it has evaporated and contaminated moisture in the air. That there's a potential that this chemical could be carried through clouds into the rainwater, into aquifers, into the water table, and ultimately just breed more contamination. And that's a really scary thing. Also recently, I don't know if the news made it all over the world or even past Salt Lake, but we have a park in Salt Lake called Liberty Park, and an oil pipeline burst and pretty much filled the park with oil. And they're really concerned that it's going to get into the aquifers and make its way to Salt Lake, contaminate City Creek. So we did a lot of work with, healing the earth and that kind of thing. And I think it's something that we as pagans, being earth-based, being earth-centered, being in tune with the earth more so than most people, should be putting our energies and intentions into, because it's only getting worse. For you mineral and rock gurus, enthusiasts out there, I've got this interesting stone that I'd kind of like your thoughts about. So if you watch my videos, you know that last summer my father came out to bring my van, which I currently drive, and he also bought out some of the things that I had left at home, and also some things that I inherited from my uncle who had passed away. My uncle was an avid mineral and stone collector, and I inherited a big box of stones and minerals and things like this. And until recently, I hadn't really had the time to do any research into what they were or, any of that. The past couple of days, I've been trying to identify the stones and, do more research into what I have. And it turns out that I actually have some fairly interesting and unique pieces. One of which is what I'd like to show you and ask you about today. It is opalized wood, or wood opal, and since he was so thorough in his collections, he wrote on the corner of this stone when and where, and I believe the longitude and latitude, also the chemical makeup of the stone. It has been chipped, as you can see. It's been chipped, so there's the writing, and some of the writing's been chipped off. But from what I can tell, it was found in March 1964 by a man named J. Balaban in Logan, Montana. It does have opal written on it, and then it has the chemical makeup, which is half chipped off, and then the GPS coordinates of where he actually found the stone. So my question for all of you out there is, what are your thoughts on the possible metaphysical uses or attributes of opal wood, or wood opal? The stone itself, I've done some research. There are several types of wood opal, ranging from reds and browns, all through the color spectrum. This particular piece is sort of a milky color with peach and gray striations running through it. I did some research on petrified wood as well as opal, and I thought that the metaphysical qualities or the correspondences might be somewhere in between the two, or a mixture of the two. I'll show you here. It's got a glassy finish on all sides but one, where you can see it has a rougher stone-like face. So if you have any thoughts about that, leave them in the comments below. Well, we have a store here called NPS, National Product Store, and they have an eBay store, but they also have a physical store here in Salt Lake City, and you can find a lot of really interesting things for very cheap, ranging from lawnmowers to fine china, designer bags, just anything you could possibly think of. So I found this in a heap of junk for $1, and it's Spectra quartz, colored minerals. And this is the sample pack that a salesman might take with him to show the client what colors and also what minerals they have. So, as you can see, it's a broad range of colors, because I thought, it might be interesting to use in spell bags or possibly mark a circle out in. But I kind of wanted to ask you guys, can you think of any creative uses that I might use this colored, I'm assuming dyed, quartz stone for? So again, if you have any ideas, down below. The other thing I'd like to show you is actually a book. This book a couple of days ago, and I read it straight through. All night long I stayed up, and it's incredible. It's Tarot 101 by Kim Huggins, or Hudgens, Huggnes. And the thing I really like about it is, unlike typical tarot books that usually, at least the ones I've read, tend to be more about the memorization of someone else's definition of what the card should be, she approaches it from many different angles, and her focus is purely intuitive. Now, she does give you some ideas of what the card may be. She gives you sort of a loose definition of what the card might mean, but she approaches it more from the symbols, the astrological signs, the planetary affiliations, different gods and goddesses, masculine, feminine, almost every angle you can possibly think of, and she explores all of the symbolism within the card. Another thing that I really like about this book is, instead of going through the cards, major arcana at least, from 0 to 21, straight through, in order, she separates them out into the feminine archetypes, the masculine archetypes, as well as other cards, and relates them in a way that they make sense together, and also brings up the ideas that are related to the cards when they're appropriate. So you're not reading an entire chapter on the symbolism in the tarot, so you might pick up a paragraph here or a paragraph there about certain symbols when they're appropriate to the cards that you're learning. So it's really easy, at least it was for me, to understand the symbolism. Another thing I really appreciate is that she doesn't just give you the symbolism and say, okay, this is the way it is and that's that. She gives you resources, websites, books, annotations in which you yourself can go find the mythology or the stories or whatnot that the symbolism came from. So you have the ability to read that and come to your own conclusions about the meaning of the symbolism, and also make it personal, relate it to yourself. I definitely recommend that everyone from beginner to advanced tarot student take a look at the book and see what you can get out of it. If you do have the opportunity to read it, or if you have read it, let me know what you think in the comments. Well, there's a few of my thoughts and some questions for you. If you have any thoughts, feelings, answers, leave them down in the comments below. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. I'll see you all soon. Bye.